I was kind of already talking about this, but like consistency is huge on every platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really want to be big on TikTok, post 5 times a day. If you really want to be big on YouTube, post once, twice, 3 times a week. Like if you really want it and you're passionate about it, you're gonna get it one day. That's like what I believe.
Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Welcome to the Miracle Academy podcast. I'm your host, Scotty Cooper, and today I've got a special guest, JT Casey. JT, he and I have known each other pretty much his whole life.
Yeah.
He's famous on a lot of different social media platforms, and he's had a tremendous following, and it's pretty incredible. But thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, of course. I'm really happy to be here.
Nice. So I want to know, like, how did you get started in all of this social media greatness that you've come up with?
Well, I started all of it kind of as a joke, actually. I never intended to be social media famous or like, whatever. I had a bet with my sister back when Musical.ly was a thing. I think she had like 5,000 followers, and she's like, I bet you can't get more than me in a week. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I just ended up having one video blow up, and then I kind of just kept riding the wave off of that. Now I'm here, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
what are you doing now?
And now it's a lot of I'm kind of starting to like push away more from TikTok. Like I still obviously make videos and stuff, but I'm over on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, taking advantage of every other platform as well.
Just so for people that don't know, how many followers do you have on TikTok and all these different platforms?
I just hit 4 million on TikTok.
4 million.
Yeah, that's a crazy number. Yeah, I can't even comprehend it.
Wow. What's the biggest TikTok you have? Like what did that one look like? Or what's the biggest one that's like blown up for you?
I'm pretty sure my biggest one has 45 million views. I'm not sure which one it was. It was probably with my sister or something like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like I've watched a lot of them, and they're funny. They crack me up. Like there was one like I like the ones where you like prank your mom.
Yeah,
things. Oh my gosh, it cracks me up.
Yeah, I'm definitely in like the very like family friendly brand advertising. That's like my thing. And it's nice because I feel like a lot of TikTokers aren't like that. Right. So I have a lot of brands reach out to me, which is nice.
What are some of like the brands you've been able to work with? So
far, hopefully continuing it in the future. My biggest ones is Hollister, American Eagle, Unexpected. This shirt's from Unexpected. I have a lot of just like kind of small like clothing businesses that reach out to me, and they're like, hey, we really love your Instagram page. Would you mind put something on your story if we send something out? And I'm like, of course. I don't know, I can't think of any other huge brands that I've worked with Marriott before. Wow. Pretty interesting.
So what's your favorite part of making the videos or the creative process? Like what's your favorite part of all of that?
Making videos is my favorite thing in the world, but I get bored on each platform super quickly. So like kind of like each week, at least for me, I'll like get super into TikTok one week, and then the next week it'll be YouTube, and then I'll just like grind out YouTube that week, and then the next week it'll be Snapchat. So I'm kind of like all over the place, but the creative process, just like in general, with me making videos, is always a ton of fun. I mean, it's my job, but I really don't think of it as my job ever, because it's just something I love to do, and I get paid for it, which is amazing.
Yeah. What does that like actually look like, the creative process for you?
A lot of it is like, it definitely depends per platform, obviously. But when it comes to like TikTok, Instagram, occasionally, it's more of like, I'll find something that's working. Because if it's already going viral, if it's already doing well, it's good. But you can always make it better.
Yeah.
So I normally take something that I find that I like and make it better. Put my own little spin on it, whatever else, put in that like wow factor in the beginning, make people watch it till the end. Like a lot on like TikTok and everything else is a lot like algorithm based. Like once you figure it out and you know what you're doing, it's just a straight like uphill like in growth and everything. So it's kind of just like taking something that I see that's working, making it a little bit better, add in my sister, my mom, my friends, whatever, making it my thing. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So for people that, think like, oh, I want to do something like this, what do you suggest? Like, because I'm sure you get this all the time. Like, what do you tell them to get started?
A lot of people, at least in my age range, are scared of like the judgment of like in the very beginning starting social media is like, ew, you have like 100,000 followers on TikTok? That's weird. I don't understand why that's a thing. I don't understand why that's like a stigma of like why people make fun of other people for having followers. It makes no sense to me. But you just have to take that first step. If you really want to be big on social media, you're gonna do it. It's just how much you really want it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was kind of already talking about this, but like consistency is huge on every platform.
Mhm.
Like if you really want to be big on TikTok, post 5 times a day. If you really want to be big on YouTube, post once, twice, 3 times a week. Like if you really want it and you're passionate about it, you're gonna get it one day. That's like what I believe. So
Where did that consistency come from for you?
I definitely in the beginning it was kind of just more just for fun. I mean, making videos is something that I absolutely love, and I have a acting background. So making videos in my free time was like I've always wanted to do it. I've just been doing it without followers. Now I'm doing it with followers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it kind of just has always been there. I just haven't had the platform to actually promote it and like do what I really want to do. But I also think like the work ethic side of it came from like how you grow up. I have still seen so many influencers that have like 1-2 million followers that have amazing platforms, but they don't want to go any higher. They don't care enough. Like my goal is to either be I want to be the best on whatever I'm going to be doing. Like that's acting, social media, marketing, whatever. I want to keep going, and so many influencers settle with what they already have.
What is kind of your goal? Like, what does best look like for you?
I mean, depending on what I do, I mean, where I'm at right now on social media is awesome because I don't like have people come up to me 24/7 and be like, can I get a picture with you? But it'll happen like once a week, once every little bit. And I can like live a normal life without being like mainstream famous, which is exactly what I want to do, and still make a living off of making videos on the internet, which is amazing. So, I mean, depending on like growing on TikTok, growing on like any other social media platform, I really want to dip my feet into YouTube more because I'm on there, but I really want to get more of a platform on YouTube. That would be like end goal on social media would be like YouTube, Instagram kind of a thing.
Yeah.
End goal for like acting, I have done a lot of commercials in the past, but I really want to step back into that.
Nice.
So commercials, movies, we'll see what happens, but pretty much just wherever life takes me. Like that's where I'm gonna go. If I get an opportunity to be on a TV show, I'll be in acting for the next year. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what are some of the cool things you've been able to do with this influence that you've been able to grow?
So many things. I was just talking to my sister about it a few days ago, but we there's a cookie shop that just opened right next to our house. And whenever new shops open that are like relatively big, my sister's like, DM them on Instagram and see if you can get some free stuff.
Yeah.
DM them. Within a day, we got something sorted out. I go into the store. They sent me this like QR code on my email, and I go inside the store and I'm like, hey, like I'm not really sure how to do this, but like I'm on social media and your marketing team gave me this like QR code. They're like, oh, I've never seen this before. Like, where'd you get this? And I'm like, yeah, I do like social media. They're like, so what are you doing for us? And I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of it's clothes. A lot of clothing brands.
Mm-hmm.
I might want to get into that later down the line. But a lot of clothing brands, like this clothing company, Unexpected, they started probably like a year ago, and they had like 100,000 followers on TikTok, and I DM'd them on Instagram, and I'm like, yo, I think you guys are going places. Like, your stuff is amazing. Like, you guys are really going places. Now they're like multi-millions on TikTok.
Wow.
Make like so much money every year. And they just bought a house in LA, which is crazy. And a lot of small clothing brands love to send out influencer stuff, which is super cool. I don't think I've paid for an article of clothing in the last like year. So a lot of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on a few like PR trips. I went to Texas a little bit ago. Actually, it was probably like a year ago to film with some other influencers and like back when COVID wasn't a thing, there was a lot of like events that we'd get invited to, and we just get like free stuff there, and it was like fun and fancy.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of with everything with COVID, events haven't been a thing. So it's kind of just been more like clothing, free food when you DM companies, and like, whatever else you like work out with companies and whatever, like random products. We do a lot of like phone cases, so that kind of stuff too. But.
So a lot of these companies that reach out to you and you end up working with them, what kind of value do they see from you? Like what kind of happens after you work with them? Does it bring a lot of people to their company normally?
It depends on the product, because it definitely depends on who's actually running the company. If it's just like a kid in their basement printing out phone cases and sending them to influencers, or if it's like a huge corporation that's already verified on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely, I don't know how brands do it, but it's definitely hard to choose the right influencer for you, because there's so many on every platform. They all have different rates, they all have different followings, all their followers like different things. So for the most part, I get a lot of like kind of what I've been saying. I get a lot of the exact same brands coming to me just because my followers love the clothes, love the whatever else. But in terms of like brands reaching out to influencers, it's a lot of just like they just have to find the right influencer that works for them. When it comes to like American Eagle and Hollister, I think I did 2 Instagram posts for Hollister and then like 3 for American Eagle and like a ton of TikToks and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much it actually drove sales to their page, but at least with like the bigger companies, it's more just like, oh, JT Casey's wearing American Eagle and American Eagle's already big and he's doing an ad for them. So the followers are more likely to go into a mall and be like, oh, American Eagle's cool now. And then going to American Eagle and shopping at American Eagle kind of a thing.
Right.
So it's definitely like brand specific when it comes to like how much stuff actually gets driven and where it gets driven. Like a lot of companies give me like specific links to tell how many people swipe up, tap the link. Yeah. Depending on if they're those are like the like lower to like mid-range companies. Then everyone else, it's more just like everyone knows what Hollister is. Everyone knows what American Eagle is.
So what's some things that a lot of your followers may not know about you? Maybe with like how you and your family have been doing a lot of this natural health things your whole life.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever talked about like Cooperstown or anything related to that yet. So definitely no one's heard about it yet. But yeah, I've been in Cooperstown, amazing chiropractic for literally my entire life. When my mom was pregnant, she was getting adjusted with me. So that's crazy. I remember when I was little, Dr. Cooper would like come out to like random places. My mom would like call and be like, I need to get adjusted right now. And he'd come to like a wedding or something and adjust my mom on like a bench out there. I remember that happening one time. And like stuff like that I've just always been here, always been in the like chiropractic mindset. And like, again, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I've never taken a prescription before in my life, ever. It's always been like, is there Chondroplex? Is there Antronex? Like, do we have Antronex? Like, whatever else. Right. So, yeah, it's definitely something I never talked about before, but it's crazy. So.
Yeah. So just so you know, those are 2 products from Standard Process that, we use a lot in our office. What's funny, too, is that I haven't had medication either. Mm-hmm. So the only time I did was when I had my ankle surgery. Mm-hmm. I had to do that. But other than that, I've lived a lot like a similar life to you in that respect. Yeah. What I think is cool about us is that we've been able to live a life that has less boundaries, I guess. More so like where other people, they see like a wall and they can't pass through it. You and I get to just go past it. It's right. like for you, you're like, like you said that you had a bet with your sister, like, oh yeah, I could have more followers than you. Whereas like other people would see that as like, that's a hard stop. Right. I can't do that.
Exactly.
And you're just like, no, like I'm just going to do it just because I want to. Yeah. But I think that's one of the coolest parts about our lives is that we've been able to live lives like that. But what else has that done for you in your life or living this way?
It's kind of all around. Like, also some of my friends already complaining about like back pain, and I'm like, y'all need to be getting adjusted every week. You guys don't know what I'm feeling. And kind of just like stuff like that where like everyone else will just be like relatively tired in the room, and I'm like kind of just more awake, like I'm on my grind, you know, whatever else. Because especially to be, I mean, when it comes to pretty much any business, you got to be doing it pretty much 24/7 if you're growing a business, and you got to be putting your all into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's definitely easier when, you know, you're grounded, you have a strong like base with like chiropractic and like all this kind of stuff. It's definitely been a lot easier for me personally. And like I kind of said, like I've noticed some of my friends already having problems with like back pain or like whatever else, and I've been good. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things we talk about a lot is we see performance increase in a lot of people, whether it be an athlete or it be someone like more acting or like your sister with dance and gymnastics and stuff. And that's been really fun for us.
Sure.
So, you know, this is the Miracle Academy, right? We like to talk about miracles. Is there any other miracle that you'd like to talk about, or that you've either seen in your life, or like what's like one of the coolest stories that's happened with your social media influence that was like a total miracle that you never foresaw happening?
Probably, I had a guy. I used to live stream a ton, and back when like live stream was a thing, it was more of like for other people to join it. It was more of just like, it's like watching a TV show or watching something. Like it's more of just like an escape from like reality. And I had this guy who was like, he found me on Snapchat. And then I moved him over to TikTok, and he would join my live streams like a ton. His name was Zach, and I like knew him by name because when people come into your live streams and you have like 100 to like 500 people in there, most of the time, I know that's crazy to sound, but most of the time I know most of them by name if they come into my streams enough. Mm-hmm. And this guy named Zach was he came into my stream a ton, and we kind of started talking. And you can like send gifts on TikTok, and he was like a huge contributor with gifts and like donations and stuff. And I think like 3 months into knowing him, he sends me this like huge thing on Snapchat, and he was like, hey man, like I didn't know I was bisexual until I went to your TikTok account, and then I went on he like found this little niche on TikTok of like his sexuality, and I was like, that's super cool, I helped a guy come out, like that's awesome. And he like found his people in TikTok, and he just like kind of blossomed, and he just like became himself. And I was like, that's super cool. And it's weird to think that like I feel like this probably happened a ton of times. I've never known it. He was probably the only one that's told me. And I'm sure there's been a lot of like, I've been like especially when live stream was a thing, like a lot of people just find it as like an escape from reality, and it just helps you like I said, it's just like watching a TV show. And it gives people like purpose, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's been a lot more stories like that I just I don't know.
Right.
But that was one that I was like, that is crazy. I don't know how I did that for you, but that's awesome, man. Like, good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So for people that want to follow you, where do they find you? Like, what's all your handles and stuff like that?
JT Casey on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Snapchat with 2 Ys for JT Casey. I couldn't get JT Casey on Snapchat. So yeah, JT Casey on everything. It's where to find me. Go check me out.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here and spending time with us today. It was super fun.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So this is the Miracle Academy, where miracles are expected, and I'm Scotty Cooper. Thank you so much for watching.